Okay, lessons learned here as I zoom out. All right, with this column in the restoration, so far, testing materials, I've come up to the conclusion that I've got two products that I like using, right? We're going to go with the Abatron, right? There's the Abatron, and then there's also the Famo wood. So I've tried a bunch of different tests. So here I've used the Famo wood strictly alone with a shaping tool that I made out of copper. And that worked okay, but it really didn't fill the top in well enough here. And left some gaps. It was a little wanting, and it's more paste-like. But it ran into the frickin' valleys of the flute really, really well. Now I still got some spots I got to sand up here as I'm trying to build this back out where this wood rotted and chipped, dried out and chipped out of there. Going to be a bunch of sanding because there's some really big gouges in here. But insects have gone at this pretty well. You know, there's a deep valley. You can see how this is completely roached out. You don't even have any square points on there. But anyway, the Abatron, I've tried it in the same way, and it can be a little sticky and difficult to work with. Just trying to smear it in with a tool to shape it. It becomes very time consuming. But yesterday I discovered that by using a couple dowels as spacers, I can bring that top up really well and then sand it. But then today in the sanding process, this is my learning phase, I realized that I'm going to have to just double sand this because these valleys are still pretty bad. I need to move some tools out of the way so I can roll this where I want it. I mean, you can see in these areas where I've sanded, see how you've got all these little areas where it looks like bugs have dug in there. See, now it's nice and smooth where that's filled in, but now I'm going to have to go back across this bottom and retake care of that. You know, and there's some pretty deep gouges in places. It's been pretty well abused. So I'm going to finish sanding these out in these areas, get them dressed out so that I can fill the bottom first with the Famo wood. And then once I have the valleys done, then use that method to get the tops because, to be honest, this is looking pretty good through here. I mean, you can see this is probably perhaps one of the worst areas here where this particular piece was really rotted out. So you can see how much it's filled in and come up. And you can kind of get an idea of how rounded over some of these have been from the insect damage. So getting them back up is important to me. You know, you can see that. That's just terrible. But it's progress. So a little bit more sanding. Famo wood down in the valleys because you can see where it's done a really good job filling in here, and it's easier to work with because I can pretty much smooth that in with a simple dowel and then sand it out. And once it's sanded out, then I can work on the rib with the with the Abatron. But this was kind of a test over here to see how well the Abatron would mesh or fill in with the Famo wood, and it seems like it bonds really well. I've sanded it down. It doesn't look bad at all. It's not chipping away. So hopefully, using the two products in concert and timing right, I can cut this project down a little bit because this has been taking a while. There's 24 flutes. It's a pretty big column. So, you know, to get it looking like it did 140 years ago, well, it's a challenge, but I'm up to it, so it's just a matter of time. And then the joy of it is once this one's done, I've got 9 more to go. Hopefully not as bad. This one was one of the worst, but we'll find out if I can come up with tools in the process to speed this up. Then brilliant. This is my first one in the test bed for how to handle this thing, and I've got hopes that it will turn out looking spectacular. And then once this is done, I can take on the Capital, which is in pieces. You can see pieces all over the place. I'm going to have to redo these to get them dressed up, make a mold, and just remake these because the plaster is just roached out on them. But they are beautiful pieces, and once I get them redone and resculpted, I'd use better products, and I can replace all of those and have these columns looking fantastic. Because it is a beautiful, it's a really beautiful freaking home, but that's just going to take a little TLC and a little sweat equity. Anyway, have fun. Goodbye.